go ahead and get comfortable on your mats. It is Wednesday, and on Wednesday, we slow it down. We take care of our bodies. We maybe spend a little bit more time on the breath. We maybe spend a little bit more time on the long stretches. And so you are doing your body and your mind a favor by taking some time to disconnect and reconnect to your body, to your breath, and engage in some conscious, mindful movement. So I've said this before, I'll say it again. If you have candles that you want to light, essential oils that you want to apply, beautiful music that you want to play, maybe you open a window. I opened a window, and so I'm going to perhaps enjoy a little bit of a cool breeze floating over me. So, do what you need to do to create a sense of calm, a sense of ease, a sense of rest for yourself. Something that, go ahead and move to your mat, by the way. Be on your back, close your eyes, maybe wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, become aware of this moment, this space, this time. I heard a quote today, not just a quote. I am re-listening to the audiobook of Walden by Henry David Thoreau. And let me tell you, I don't know if it's, I wouldn't say not wise. I think it's wise. But I think you're opening up a can of worms if you listen to or read Walden during quarantine shutdown, because already I'm only one chapter in, and he's talking about how silly it is that we buy new clothes before our old clothes are worn out. And there's a really great line in there that says, beware of enterprises that require new clothes. You've probably seen that quote somewhere before. So I'm just, it's a good book to cause you to question why we do what we do in our modern culture, and our present circumstances are a time that will cause you to question why we do what we do. Why did we fill our schedules so full before? Why did we accumulate so many responsibilities? Why did we accumulate so many relationships and touch points that we had to maintain, perhaps to our psychological and emotional detriment? And so there's this really great line that he mentions about the present moment being at the meeting point between two eternities. And so when you think about the eternity that extends into the past, the eternity that extends into the future, and that this present moment, this now moment, and this now moment is different from the moment 3 minutes ago when we started our time together. So this present moment is at the meeting point between two eternities. And when you think about now like that, every moment is holy. Every moment is sacred. Every moment is worth celebrating. And it makes you wonder, why did I waste even a single moment of today? How can I redeem and capture every single moment at the meeting of those two eternities for what it is? And so here you are on your mat. And in the now, there's a statement in the Yoga Sutras. So here I am jumping over to a different piece of literature here. The Yoga Sutras are kind of like the book of Proverbs, like they're this compilation of aphorisms and statements, and nobody really knows who wrote them all down. But the first sutra, Yoga Sutra number 1, says, yoga is now. Now, some people would say that statement is saying, we're going to talk about yoga now. And some people would say that statement is saying, yoga can only happen in the now. Yoga happens in the now. Yoga being, of course, the broader field of disciplines, not necessarily stretches on the mat, but attention, meditation, attention to the present moment, whatever you devote yourself to, any discipline. Many things can be yoga. It doesn't just have to be stretching and mobility work, though that certainly counts as yoga. But it is really true that any discipline we undertake, any practice we undertake, any impulse toward growth that we return back to over and over and over again mindfully has to happen in the now, at the meeting point between two eternities. And that makes every moment sacred. That makes every moment holy. And so for the next few breaths, sit in that truth. Yoga is now. Yoga is now. And if it's comfortable for you, go ahead and lay your hands on your belly. Notice your abdomen rise and fall with every breath. Even this tactile cue of having your hands on your belly will perhaps encourage you to pull those deep belly breaths down into the diaphragm and out. And together we're going to take it through a few rounds of square breathing. So just as a reminder, square breathing is where each part of the breath, each of the four parts of the breath are the same length, and then we lengthen each of those parts together. And so the idea is that we are disciplining each section of the breath, overall increasing our quality of the breath. And so start by exhaling all the air out of the lungs through the nose or mouth. And inhale for 3, 2, 1, hold for 3, 2, 1, exhale 3, 2, 1, hold 3, 2, 1, inhale 3, 2, 1, hold 3, 2, 1, exhale 3, 2, 1, hold 3, 2, 1, inhale 4, 3, 2, 1, hold 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, hold 4, 3, 2, 1, inhale 4, 3, 2, 1, hold 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, hold 4, 3, 2, 1, inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now just allow your breath to take on a more natural, even pacing, and notice if perhaps there's more volume to your breath. Maybe there's more elasticity, more of a richness, more of a quality to it. Nice and comfortable on your mat. Reach the arms overhead toward the back. Point the toes toward the front. Take a deep breath and a full body stretch. And on the exhale, hug both knees to the chest, rounding the spine, picking up the head and shoulders. Inhale to extend. Exhale, hug the knees to the chest. Inhale, extend, reach. And this time on the exhale, just the right leg. So you're holding on to that right knee, drawing some little circles. Breathe into that right hip. And while you're here drawing circles with that right knee, you might also try maybe passing that knee to the right, to the left. So you pass the knee over to the right hand to open it up and breathe into that right inner thigh, and then pass it across the body into the left hand. So maintain support of this knee as you kind of open and close that hip joint. You're starting to also implement a little bit of a low back twist here, but nothing too crazy. Just kind of explore this right to left lateral movement here, just passing that knee from right hand to left hand. Stay with that breath, even though I'm not cueing specific inhales and exhales with this movement here. See if you can maintain those long, slow, high quality breaths. Okay, now go ahead and release the right leg down onto the earth. Pick up the left leg and start with some little knee circles here, starting to warm up that joint. One of the nice things about getting into summertime is that when we have these warm days, we're kind of running hot all day long. And so you get to the end of the day and you're more or less warmed up. Even if you didn't necessarily do like a really great workout today, your body has been on the warmer side all day long. So it might not feel so creaky during the summertime as perhaps it might during the winter. Go ahead and, if you haven't yet, maybe start passing that knee to the left, to the right, being super mindful of just how that hip is feeling today, how your joints, your muscles are feeling today. This is just a reminder that every day is different. Surprise. Some days are more challenging than others because based on what you've been up to over the last 12 or 24 hours, your body carries that reality, right? You're not a robot. All right, go ahead and set that left leg back down onto the earth. Reach the arms overhead. And on the exhale, hug both knees to the chest and start to roll up and down the length of the spine, up to the neck, down to the tailbone. Kind of play with it, and then when you're ready, maybe cross the ankles, roll over the ankles up onto the shins, and take it right up into into tabletop. And then at this point, you know what to do. Cat, cow. Inhale as you lengthen the sternum forward, release the belly toward the earth. Exhale to round the spine, tucking the chin to the chest, forward, backward flexion of the spine. One of the other nice things about warm weather is that you don't have to work very hard to break a sweat. In fact, you could probably break a sweat just with a really good breathing practice like we were starting to do. So if you started to maybe get warm with those inhales and exhales, you're not alone. That's pretty normal. And then here in tabletop, start to incorporate just some organic movement here. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but maybe just kind of take some movements that feel really nice for your spine today. Some big circles. Maybe you do some hip circles. Maybe you do some shoulder circles, just some little wiggles. Just kind of explore that range of motion. Even though there's way more to your body than your spine, the spine is a really critical part of the movements that you make. And so I always like to begin with the spine. And it is pretty incredible the number of things that, or directions that the spine can move in, right? It can rotate, it can go side to side, it can go front to back. And so don't skip out on any of that intentional movement. All right, so bring the big toes together, step the knees pretty wide and settle the hips back toward child's pose. Reach the arms forward on the mat. And then you could just take a regular child's pose if that feels really nice with your forehead on the mat. Or if you want to try just right off the bat, starting out with an upper back stretch, plant the palms together in prayer, walk the elbows toward one another, bend the elbows, and bring the hands behind the neck here into a little bit more of an intense stretch for the upper back here. Feels really nice. Either way, whether you're taking this child's pose modification or regular child's pose, bring that breath into the belly. Maybe you take it through a couple rounds of box breathing here in child's pose on your own time, on your own pace. So from child's pose, reach the hands forward, have them about shoulder width apart, curl the toes under, take an inhale. And on the exhale, straighten the legs, lift the hips, take it back to downward facing dog and start by pedaling the feet right, left, right, left. Press one heel, then the other into the earth. And then just like in tabletop, maybe take some little exploratory movements here for your spine. So what would it look like to take a little cat-cow in downward facing dog, finding a little rounded shape with the upper back and then an arch with the upper back? Or maybe you might try exploring a little baby twist in downward facing dog, and something you could do to try that would be to drop one elbow and then the other. And so you're activating one side while twisting the other side, the other shoulder under. And maybe you can even, as you drop one shoulder, you peek underneath the armpit of the opposite arm and bring your neck into this little twist here. And maybe you also explore some side to side movement in downward facing dog. So maybe rock your body weight over to one side, your foot and your hand of one side. You don't have to pick your hands off the earth. It's just kind of exploring that right to left lateral movement here. Just kind of play with it. Or maybe you try all three. All right, so from downward facing dog, let's walk our feet forward to the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. Take a nice, generous bend with the knees so the upper body is on the thighs. Hook your hands into the elbows of your opposite arms and just take a little ragdoll here. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Just let any tension drain down along the spine. All right, let's bring our hands to our shins and inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the crown of the head forward, flat back. Exhale, fold over the legs, forward fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. All right, so we're gonna keep using our breath to keep building that heat, that fire inside. We're not gonna get super active, but I'm a big fan of using the breath to create some heat. So we're going to take some skier breaths. I think we've done these together before. We do these in bodyweight training. So step your feet hip distance apart. And what we're going to do is I want you to think that like you're skiing, like you're going down the ski mountain and you've got your poles in your hands. And with every exhale, you're going to violently swing your arms back behind you as you bend at the hips, bend at the knees. And so it's not so much like a quarter squat. It's just more about swinging the arms back. Inhale as you stand. Exhale, swing the arms back. Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And come up to standing, find stillness. Flip your palms forward. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose or mouth. Let's take it through a couple half sun salutations here at the top of the mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Quick pause for this next half sun salutation. You could always do this in any class with me, but I'll just bring your attention to it today. Is have a soft bend in your knees for your half sun salutations. And so rather than having it be all about this hamstring stretch right here off the bat, having that soft bend makes it less about stretching and more about activating the hamstrings as you fold forward. So maybe just give this a try. Start with a soft bend in the knees, and can you keep that soft bend throughout the duration of this half sun salutation like this? Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hinge forward and down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. If you liked having that soft bend in the knees, maybe keep that for the next couple half sun salutations. Totally up to you. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Again from the top. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's take it through a full sun salutation. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step it back to plank, lower all the way to the earth with control, keeping the elbows close to the body. Inhale, baby cobra, gaze is forward, neck is long. Exhale, downward facing dog, 2 long, slow breaths in downward facing dog. In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. At the end of that exhale, walk or step your feet forward to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. We're going to take it through 2 more full sun salutations from the top. Again, it's totally up to you whether you want to start exploring a straight leg in that forward fold or if you want to keep that soft bend. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Take it through a flow. Follow your breath. Inhale for the back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Glance up at the hands. Walk, step, or float your feet. Top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more full sun salutation from the top. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Back bend, inhale. Exhale. 2 breaths. Glance up at the hands. Walk, step, or float your feet. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, we're going to come back to the spine and the 3 directions that we can move with the spine, and this time we're going to do it all while standing. And so forward, backward, we're going to start with a flow that takes us from a cactus back bend to a little round ball where you're hugging your knees to your chest. I'm going to call it seed pose. I don't think anybody actually calls it that, but inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, cactus arms, gaze goes up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin to the chest. Maybe tucking your forehead towards your knees. I like to have my hands on the mat for support, but you could also hug your knees to your chest. All right, we're going to take it through that same flow a couple more times. So inhale, straighten the legs, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Cactus arms, little back bend, gaze goes up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, seed pose, hug the knees to the chest, or you've got your hands on the ground for support. Inhale, straighten up the legs, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms, reach. Cactus arms, exhale. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, seed pose. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms, and this time on the exhale, just pull the hands to heart center. Nice job. Release the hands down by your sides, flip the palms forward, and just with your gaze forward, nice and tall through the crown of the head, start by rolling one shoulder to the right, to the left, rolling your shoulders back, that is. Rolling the right shoulder back, left shoulder back, big shoulder rolls. And now switch directions, left shoulder forward, right shoulder forward. All right, so this is kind of a nice little figure 8 rotation we're doing here with the upper back. And so you guessed it, we're going into rotations next. And so standing, we're going right to left, reaching the arms forward and back. So inhale, arms overhead. And let's go to the right first. Exhale, drop the arms in line with the shoulders, gaze toward the back of the room. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to the left, drop the arms in line with the shoulders. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to the right. Can you bring your shoulders into this twist? And so it's not just about the arms here. See how much you can soften the right shoulder toward the back of the room. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. One more time each side. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, arms overhead. And on the exhale, soften the arms down by your sides. Flip the palms forward. All right, and then before we just go right into it, into the side-to-side bending, we're going to start with our neck. So drop your ear toward your shoulder, right to left. So some side-to-side bending here. Right to left, left to right. I'm going to turn towards you so you can see my side bending here. We've done this before together. So inhale, arms overhead. And let's plant the right hand on the right hip. I'll mirror you. Reach up and over to the right. Nice long side stretch. Peek up toward the sky under your right arm, left arm. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, up and over to the left this time. Gaze goes up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, back to the first side. Counterbalance with your hips. So really lean into this nice long side stretch. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, back over to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale. Inhale, back to center. And then release the arms down by your side. Let's finish it out with One more neck stretch. So it's kind of like cat-cow for the neck. Tilt the chin up toward the sky. Release the chin down toward the sternum. And since we did all this nice work with the spine that also translates to the upper back, go ahead and release the hands behind the back, interlace the hands, and have your feet about mat width apart, about hip distance or a little bit wider. Press the palms toward one another, roll the shoulders together and back, and on the exhale, hinge forward and down over the legs. You could have a soft knee bend in your knees here, or if you want to keep working on that forward fold, then you can have the knees straight coming on into those hamstrings. All right, bring the hands back to the low back, come all the way up to standing. Nice, release the hands. All right, so if you wandered, come on back to the top of your mat. Let's take it through another full sun salutation. We're gonna start to add some lunges here as we do. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back to plank, take it through a flow. And remember, that vinyasa flow is always optional at this point. It's designed to build some heat, but if you don't really need that at this moment, then skip it. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step it through outside the right pinky. And so keeping connection between your hands and the earth, take some nice knee rolls here, breathing into that right outer hip. All right, we're going to do something that might be a little bit fun, might be a little bit challenging here in this low lunge here. Pick up the right arm, reach the right fingertips toward the sky. And then on the exhale, bend your elbow. And can you tap your elbow on the earth inside that right foot? Inhale, open it back up, reach toward the sky. Exhale, elbow toward the floor. You don't have to be able to touch the floor just yet. Inhale, open arms overhead, or right arm overhead. Exhale, elbow to the floor. Inhale, arms overhead. Last time, elbow to the floor. Inhale, arms overhead. Nice job. Set the hands to plank, step it back, take it through a flow. Same thing on the left side. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it through outside the left pinky. Start with some little knee circles here on the left. And then let's take that twisty side angle that we took before. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up toward the sky. Exhale, elbow toward the earth. See if you can maybe tap it on the earth. No big deal if not. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up. Gaze goes up. Exhale, elbow toward the earth. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, elbow toward the earth. Inhale, open it up. Last time, elbow toward the earth. Inhale, open it up. And press the left hand to the earth. Step it back to plank. Take it through a flow. Two long, slow breaths in downward facing dog. Glance up at the hands. Walk, step, or float your feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. All right, let's work on some balancing pose. We're going to do a standing figure 4. So we're going to work into it slowly though as we do. So shift all of your body weight to your left leg, bring the right knee up in line with the hip. You can have your arms down by your sides. So start by flexing that right foot. For a standing figure 4, you want to flex the right foot because it protects the knee joint. It just creates tension down your leg, so it keeps your knee from twisting. So inhale, arms overhead. And then I want you to cross the right ankle over the left knee and exhale as you sink into this standing figure 4. I like to bring my hands to heart center, but maybe for a little extra challenge in the upper back, you can reach the arms overhead, gaze is forward. So the idea here is you're sinking your body weight back into the heel, bending in the knee. Maybe you can glance down and maybe you can wiggle the toes of your left foot. So you want to have that body weight back. Let's come on out of it with control. Inhale, come on back to standing, knee up in line with hip. Exhale, everything down. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Shift your body weight to your right leg. Bring the left knee up in line with the hip. Have that left foot flexed. Establish your balance in that standing leg. Since you know where this is going, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, standing figure 4. We're here for a few breaths, so get nice and comfortable. Shift your body weight back into that ankle. Maybe glance down at your foot. Maybe you can wiggle your toes. Can you point your tailbone even more toward the back of the room? Can you find that lift through the chest? Gaze is forward. Either your hands at heart center or your arms are up overhead. Really active in the upper back. On the next inhale, come on out of it with control. And exhale everything down. We're going to do it again on the right side, this time just with breath. So we're moving a little faster. Inhale, arms overhead, knee up in line with hip. Exhale, standing figure 4. Inhale, knee up in line with hip. Exhale, everything down. Left side, inhale, knee up in line with hip. Exhale, standing figure 4. Inhale, bring the knee up. Exhale, everything down. All right, we're going to take it through a dancing warrior flow, and then we're going to add it all together. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Take it back to plank. Follow your breath. Two breaths in downward facing dog. Slow it down. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step it through next to the right thumb. Inhale, crescent lunge. Warrior 2 on the exhale. Flip the right palm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior, gaze goes up. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, circle the hands, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. Two long, slow breaths in downward facing dog. In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. Check back in with your breath. Left side. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Flip the left palm up. Inhale. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, circle the hands, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. Glance up at the hands, walk, step or float your feet, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, so listen carefully. We're actually going to start with the opposite leg as we usually start at, because that takes us into the right side flow. So shift your body weight to your right leg, your right leg. So shift your body weight to your right leg. Inhale, arms overhead, left knee up in line with hip. Exhale, standing figure 4. Inhale, knee up in line with hip. And with control on the exhale, take it into a standing warrior 3. So your standing leg is straight. Your upper body is hinged forward, fingertips reaching forward, biceps in line with ears. Shoulders are square with the earth. Left foot is flexed. Pause here for a moment. Take an inhale. And then with control, transition to a crescent lunge. So bend that standing leg and lightly float the back foot to the earth. Again, elbows are straight, palms facing each other, biceps in line with ears. Take an inhale. Warrior 2 on the exhale. Flip the right palm up, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse, warrior gaze goes up. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, circle the hands to the mat, pause. Heel toe that right foot off to the right. And we're gonna take it through that revolved crescent and that little elbow tap again. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up toward the sky. Exhale, tap the elbow toward the earth. Might be a little bit easier now that you're nice and warm. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up toward the sky. Exhale, find that elbow tap. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhale to transition. And on the exhale, circle the hand to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. Or you can skip it. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. So this little series started at the top of the mat. So glance up at the hands, walk or step your feet forward to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. All right, now you're going to shift your body weight to your left leg. Your left leg. Bring the right knee up in line with hip. And if you're confused, just do the opposite side as last time. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, standing figure 4. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale into a warrior 3. Transition with control, nice and slow. Standing leg is straight and active. Gaze is down toward the earth. Both shoulders, both hips square with the earth. Have that floating right leg strong and the foot flex. Take an inhale. And with control, transition lightly into crescent lunge. Gaze is forward, neck is long. Take an inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Flip the left palm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior gaze goes up. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, circle the hands, pause. Heel toe that left foot off to the left. And we're going to flow here from the revolved side angle to that elbow. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up. Exhale, elbow to the mat. Inhale, reach. Follow the hand with your eyes. Exhale, elbow to the mat. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. And this time on the exhale, circle the left hand to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through a flow, or skip it. We'll all meet in downward facing dog, and actually, let's all meet in child's pose. So bring the knees to the earth, big toes touch, settle it back to child's pose. So hopefully, if I did my job right, our hips are nice and warm for a nice extended pigeon stretch. I don't usually add pigeon at the end of a shorter, like hour or less session, but it's nice and warm, and our hips are warmed up for that, are prepared for that. And so we are going to spend some nice long time in pigeon today, which we should all be very excited about. So from child's pose, curl the toes under, take an inhale. And on the exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Starting with the right side, inhale, lift the right leg. And on the exhale, start by stepping it through next to the right thumb. And then heel toe that foot over toward the left hand. And then lay the right knee down. And then lower the back knee to the earth. And so the idea here, before you just fold forward over your leg, check in, make sure your right knee is towards your right hand, your right ankle is towards your left hand, and you will hear people say, you'll hear teachers sometimes say, oh, your shin should be parallel with the top of the mat. Well, maybe for some people it is, or maybe after a lot of practice on pigeon it is, but don't just automatically make that your goal, because if you crank your shin into a parallel position at the top of the mat without your hip being flexible enough for that, then your knee is going to bear the brunt of that cranking. So check in with your knee. If you feel this in your knee, then move your ankle closer to your body, change the angle of your leg so that you don't feel it in your knee. You should feel it in your hip, that right glute, that right outer hip. And since you're at your house, I'm assuming you have some couch cushions handy or something like that. If you want to slip a couch cushion, here, I'm going to show you. If you want to slip a couch cushion underneath that right glute, that can be a really nice support for pigeon here, right? So my hip, my right glute is just sitting on this couch cushion, and that's really nice because it doesn't need to just float in midair. So you can stay propped up on your hands, or you can maybe start to explore what it's like to fold forward over that front leg. Maybe you're propped up on your elbows. Maybe after a few breaths, you slowly soften your forehead down onto the mat. For these longer holds, we learn the skill of constant reevaluation, right? We learn that how you are experiencing a pose after a minute is not the same as you were experiencing it at the beginning. And so there is wisdom in the ability to constantly reevaluate, oh, I'm more comfortable now, and so perhaps I can move into a deeper level of stretch, or I'm less comfortable now, and so something that was working for me a minute ago isn't working for me anymore, and I'm going to change something. And I think it goes without saying that that is a life lesson about our circumstances, about our relationships, about our habits. All right, let's slowly begin to press back up out of this and just undo whatever you did. If you slipped a bolster underneath your hips, then go ahead and take it away and start by curling the back toes under, lift the body weight off that right leg, and then sweep it back to a three-legged dog and maybe do some little hip circles here. You might stack the right hip on top of the left. You might give your leg a little shake. Just do something that feels really nice for that outer hip. Okay, we're going to go right into it on the other side. So shift your body weight to your right leg. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it through. And then nice and controlled, heel toe that left foot over to the right. And then lay the knee down. I didn't say this on the other side, but if you glance back at your back foot, it should be pointing straight behind you, right? Sometimes we can get a little cockeyed and we can wind up on the inside of our back leg. Your foot, the top of your foot and your knee should be pointing straight down into the earth. If you're doing that, then that means you're square with your hips and you're square with your spine, right? And you're not borrowing flexibility from a twist here. Okay, if you used a bolster on the other side, you might do so on this side because, you know, You want to be symmetrical. And then, since we've already been here for a few moments, maybe start to explore what it might look like to deepen the stretch, constantly making adjustments, constantly reevaluating. One of the ways that we can evaluate whether something is working for us on the mat, anyway, is notice your breath. If you are holding your breath, gritting your teeth, or if your breathing is labored and you're like gasping for air, you're probably putting your joints, your muscles into a position that is way outside their zone of proximal development, if you will, way outside their comfort zone. And so perhaps back it off a little bit. Maybe scan the body. This can be another way you look for markers, look for signals. If you're scrunching up your shoulders, if you're clenching your fists, clenching your toes, then maybe you're storing some tension around a particular stretch. And so again, back it off a little bit. Not all the way. It doesn't mean you should come out of a particular pose. And it also doesn't mean you should never do that pose again. Yoga is now. And so we meet ourselves on the mat where we are now. We evaluate how a pose is working for us now, not how it was working a minute ago, 5 minutes ago. All right, go ahead and slowly press back up out of it. Unwind, uncurl, and maybe take some little leg shakes on this side, little three-legged dog. And then just come back to downward facing dog. Find some stillness here. Lower the knees to the earth. We're going to take hero's pose here for a few moments. So settle your body weight back onto your ankles. Have the tops of the feet on the earth. Knees together. And breathe. Bring your awareness, your attention to your spine. So start with your tailbone pointing toward the earth. It pretty naturally does when you're here in hero's pose. Activate and engage the low belly. Nice and tall through the crown of the head. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Slide the ears back so they're in line with the shoulders. And then we can take that same pose. If you did this in child's pose, the child's pose variation that we did early on in our practice, inhale, arms overhead, seal the palms, squeeze the elbows, the biceps against the ears, and then bend at the elbows and float the hands back behind the neck. All right, and so it becomes particularly evident here when you're in this kneeling pose, the importance of not borrowing flexibility from the lower ribs. And so soften the lower ribs down toward the earth and see if you can find that flexibility in the shoulders this time. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, nice and tall through the crown of the head for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, take it back to tabletop. And maybe take it through a few rounds of cat-cow. Forward, backward flexion of the spine. All right, bring the legs around in front of you. Hug the knees to the chest as you lie down on your back, gently roll side to side. All right, we're going to do a gentle spinal twist here before dropping off into Shavasana. So with both knees bent, bring your knees over your hips and your shins in a tabletop here. With your arms out by your sides, what I want you to do first is I want you to just slightly, it's like a little crow hop, so slightly hop your tailbone off to the left and now lower the knees toward the right. So that little shift of the tailbone off to the left and then lowering the knees to the right keeps your spine in line. So it's a little bit less of an intense spinal twist than perhaps our single leg one because your leg is stacked. And breathe. And since your knees are pointing to the right, you will turn your head and look toward your left. All right, and bring everything back to center. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So start with the knees stacked over the hips, shins are parallel with the floor. And now just a little scooch of your hips to the right. Now lower the knees off to the left. And then turn your head over your right shoulder. And then slowly go ahead and bring it on back to center. And any way that's comfortable for you, make your way into your final resting pose, whatever that looks like for you. Relax your wrists, relax your ankles, relax your shoulders, your hips. Relax your breath. Close your eyes. Shavasana. Slowly begin to reawaken the body. Wiggle the fingers, the toes, roll out the wrists, the ankles. Reach the arms overhead toward the back. Point the toes toward the front. Take a deep breath and a full body stretch from fingers to toes and everything in between. And on the exhale, roll over to the right side. Slowly press the floor away. Make your way back up to a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. Close your eyes when you get there. Lightly rest your hands on your knees. Notice the changes that you've brought about in your body. On the next inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice. Have a beautiful evening. Namaste.